Hello, everyone. I would like to congratulate you all who have taken their time to participate in the discussion boards and to be giving others feedback. What a great 2 weeks that we have had so far. And I think we are a group of promising students because for me, I have been struggling with face-to-face students before to get to do some of the things that you are doing right now without even my help. Just like coming up with a website, Google site. It would take some a long time to do that, but it seems like you guys, you are really awesome. So I think I'm gonna have a great semester myself. So I'm already happy about what is happening so far. This is a way of closing our discussions for the past 2 weeks, um, so that at least we can move ahead. I'm just going to share with you a few things that I've thought were important as I was reading all your work. I know I have read the actually gone through and look at the how people view educational technology, and then I've seen they are nice. Some are in very interesting and very creative word clouds there. So I was very impressed. I hope you all find them very useful in your classes. One thing that I wanted to talk about is defining educational technology. We really need to have a clear definition of educational technology. I thought one of you would ask me like, oh, Esther, what is educational technology? If someone would be wanting to know or would ask you like, what is educational technology and why do we have to worry about the definition of educational technology? We need to know to have a well-defined definition because it actually controls or it shapes the way that we understand technology in the classroom. We have so much out there in terms of the tools, in terms of what people call technology. So if we don't know our own technology, then the problem will be that we will not be able to have a clear way of saying, okay, to me, this is technology, so I'm going to use it this way in the classroom. So we need to actually have a definition for our own education purposes. So that's why we need to worry about the definition of technology. So this is how our textbook has actually said about this issue of defining technology. They actually think that, not that think, maybe they've done research because these are the most leading authors in our educational technology right now, because they've said that educators tend to think about educational or instructional technology as devices or equipment. I don't know if you all saw this statement as you were reading the textbook, because to me, I thought it was a very important statement because it shows that there's so much confusion out there as to what is educational technology. So it's not only about the equipment, the tools. That's why we see that we are talking about theories, we are talking about strategies and all the stuff in this class because we are not only focusing on the tool. Yes, we are going to be doing our TIA and we are going to be doing your online research of the tools out there. That is great, but we also need to learn about some strategies to use the technology in the class, some theory. Like the last 2 weeks this past week I've been talking about tools. I mean theories, and then I've seen that some of you really have good understanding about what theories are, especially the behavioralist and the constructivist. I was very impressed. So we've been thinking about how do we really um, use those framework or those theories to influence the way that we teach with technology. So we'll be talking about that as the semester is progressing. But for now, let's look at the definition right now. Uh, in the textbook, if you have noticed that they talked about knowledge of the key terms, reflecting on the past, considering the present, and looking ahead to the future. These should be part of educational technology. If you're going to be a teacher in educational technology, you need to be able to articulate the terminology of people who are in education. And you need to know about the past, reflecting on the past in terms of technology. If it didn't work previously with others, so how might it work with me? Concerning the present, with your present students that we have right now, do you really think using a document camera is the best way of teaching them with technology? Or do you think a smart board, which is interactive, carrying students that we have, and then looking ahead into the future, because we need to be reading our teacher education journals. I'm going to put a library, and then put some articles there that I want you to be reading, and that will come later when we have established and are done with our theories. But we need to be looking at some of the current issues that are happening as we are discussing or as we are learning about technology in this day and age. So we need also to look ahead. Those who do research in educational technology have predicted what is going to happen. So as a teacher, we should know the classroom of tomorrow, today. So what we do today should prepare for the future. So when you talk about educational technology, it's beyond the devices, beyond the equipment, to include what? The processes. So here's our definition that I really like. It's coming from our textbook. It is a combination of the processes and the tools involved in addressing educational needs and problems. So when you talk about the processes, we are going back to the reflecting on the past, the future, or the present. All those things is part of the process, and the strategies that you are going to be thinking about. They also constitute what is called educational technology, not only the equipment. That's why we are doing what we are doing right now. I know some of you will be like, why are we even reviewing the what do you call it, the theories? Why do I need to know about the theories? Because educational technology to us entails that we know beyond the tool or the equipment. So another thing that is very important, the terminology that we're talking about, there's what they call technology integration. So a technology integration does not entail that technology is an additional tool in the classroom that can be used by students as a reward system, or as something that they can go play with the iPad somewhere, or go to the computer and play games without you, the teacher, knowing what is going on those computers. It has to be integrated. So what is the definition of integration? Is coming again from our textbook, from the chapters that we're supposed to read this week. It refers to the process of determining which digital tools and which methods for implementing them are the most appropriate responses to given educational needs and problems. So it refers to the process of determining which digital tools and which methods for implementing them. So if we think about the digital tools and the implementation model, all those things coming together, that's what we call integration of technology in the classroom. And then it is done to solve a problem, the needs that we have in the classroom. Then the terminology, instructional technology, it is the subset of educational technology that deals directly with teaching and learning applications as opposed to educational administrative applications. So you have to know that when you're talking about instructional technology, it's about teaching, about the methods, not administrative purposes. It's coming again from a textbook. So I asked you to go and look for the issues that we might have or that are happening right now. And oh, I noticed that all of you have got interesting issues which really matter in today's teaching, and I really agree. And some of the things that you need to be thinking about that came out of the textbook are social issues. And these are some of the social issues that we are seeing here. I'm not going to repeat them, but just to let you know that we have social issues. And if you have forgotten, you can just go ahead and read a little bit as I am presenting. Then we have also some issues which are like not social, that are beyond social, such as lack of technology funding, which some school districts have problems with. Then problems with student accountability for quality and progress. Because we've got too much technology out there, sometimes it's really difficult to say which technologies will help us with quality or for the student to progress. That's why sometimes we need the standards that we're talking about. Why do we need standards? Then there's also debate over best practice with technology or technologies. These days, because of there's so much out there, it's confusing even to the teachers to say what are the best practices. So this classroom will kind of like help us to see what are the best practices with technologies that we can actually employ in our future classrooms. Then we also have cultural and equity issues. The digital divide that we talk about, some have, some don't have. So as you are planning your classroom, you have to think about, okay, if I have to give homework and then they have to go online when they get home, does so and so have their internet at home or technologies? You have to plan ahead, and you have to know what type of activity that they can do at home with help or without help as we are planning. Then we have the issue of racial and gender equity in terms of um, technology out there. Some are actually complaining that we don't have that much technologies or tools that are representing the gender, or sometimes the software that has got racial equality in it. So we need to be thinking about the software that we are going to be using in the classroom, or the examples that we are going to be finding out of that software. Are they racially oriented, or what type of software are we using? So kind of like thinking about what we are doing all the time. Then students with special needs, like these days, is very difficult because we need to have inclusion in our classrooms. So we need also to be thinking about how do I integrate technology, especially for some of the students in my classroom with special needs. For that reason, that's why you will see for next week, we are going to be talking about the universal design of learning, of which I know that you learn about that again in EDCU 350. So it's a way of reviewing again the framework, so that at least when you are designing our virtual field trips in this class as part of our assignments, we will be able to look for adaptations or think about some of the problems that we might have in the classrooms with students with special needs. Then we have legal and ethical issues. Some of the issues are hacking, safety issues, cyber. I've seen cyber cheating, cyber bullying. I've seen a lot in your discussions. I think you've done a very good job in your discussion. I'm really liking what you're doing. Then I have just a little bit about why do we need standards. I thought some of you were like, oh, Esther, why are you talking about standardization? We don't like standardization. What I was talking about is like looking for quality, having a criteria that all of us will agree that is quality. That's why we need standard. Otherwise, with the way that we have technology out there and the way that there are so many strategies of using it, how do we know that this criterion will lead to what? To quality? Or for you to be able to say, okay, my students are able to do this, what criteria are you using? So for our standards, for me, the way I understand them both, there are so many definitions of standards, not standardization of conforming to the standards, but a measure of quality that we need to know, so that at least we have to say, okay, our students are able to do this. We need to have that bar or that measure that we are going to compare our students at, or what we are doing. So with this one, the most important statement is as technology integration continues to increase in our society, it is paramount that teachers possess the skills and behaviors of digital age professionals. So the skills and behaviors of digital age professionals, how do they look like? Those are embedded in the standards. That's why we need standards. So for students, again, we are saying we need standards because we need to go beyond them being able to just use technology. I like the definition here, or the reason why they are given in this is coming from a textbook. The most important statement in this PowerPoint, in this slide, is that today students need to be able to use technology to analyze, learn, and explore. So if we don't know the standards or the level at which we call, oh, now they are able to analyze, then how are we going to actually know whether our students are meeting what today's students, 21st century students, should be able to do? So we need standards for us to be able to measure if our students are at the 21st century level. So now we are coming to our learning theories. Our learning theories that we have discussed today, this week, I mean. Oh, I thought you did a great job again, because you were able to summarize to tell me that behaviorism is all about rewards and punishment. And then for constructivist, I have noticed that some of you are talking about learning by constructing, learning by hands-on, and all this stuff, which are great examples. And I like that because that's what we are looking for, to see if you know your theories. So this is the PowerPoint that I think you read, that I have put for you this past week. And then it is a summary of constructivism and other perspectives under constructivism. And then I like that because the way that you were discussing and sharing with each other, it shows to me that you have learned a lot. So now what we are going to do is to be thinking about our own philosophy statement. In our own philosophy statement, we have to be applying these theories in technology. How does constructivism influence the way that I will use technology in the classroom? We have to be thinking about the tools that you are going to be selecting that are constructivistic in nature. You have to be thinking about behavioralism. When is it time for me to be able to use a tool which carries behavioralistic tendencies in it? So you have to be thinking about that. So I'll be looking